Good morning and welcome. Now today I have a big day ahead of me. I'm kind of nervous because today I am going to throw myself once again into the deep end. Now the reel needs a bit of, what's that word? I forgot the words now. Not restoration. Anyway, so that's what I will be doing today, and which means taking it apart completely. I really hope I don't regret it in the end. Those who know me know that I can be a little bit loca, but I'm careful with that. So the reel-to-reel video, the last one, if you want to watch the video of that, then click in the link below or here. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, so here we have the belts, which I managed to get all the way from Germany. It somehow worked out way cheaper than any from here. The other components that I have to replace are the variable resistors, because the ones inside there are apparently completely, disappearing. Last but not least, of course, are brand new capacitors here. Now, some of these capacitors are leftovers from the Marantz repair, which if you want to see it, the link is in the description below. So one more thing I got was this soldering wick or soldering braid. Now I hate desoldering. I hate it with a vengeance. And my friend recommended this to me, saying it's actually easier than using a solder sucker, which, it is annoying, I have to admit. But my first time to use this, and it is... I'm looking forward to seeing how easy it is. If it's easier, I'm going to get myself a couple more of these. Okay, so we have one side off, and oh my, it's dusty inside here. Now for the other side. Yes, this thing needs some cleaning. There's like 1970s dust on this thing. I mean, I know I treasure old things, but even I have my limits. I don't want to The weird thing is, if this thing is laid down on its back, which these feet do indicate, how are you supposed to connect things to it? Because the RCA cables are pretty long. So that's one thing I don't get. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what I need to actually get at to replace all the components are these two boards here, this one and this one. One of them is a playback board, one of them is a record one. So we have the main motor that turns the capstan, and we have the two motors here that turn each of the reels. Right, so I'm gonna have to put it on its side to kind of get to the bottom part, to unscrew the bottom part. And dude, what makes this thing so freaking heavy? The belts actually seem like they're in good shape. There is no there's no sign of it degrading, because what happens is with the rubber is that it starts turning into the stupid goo. I'm gonna change them anyway, because I mean this thing is decades old. It's way before my time. And I think it's better doing this thing now. There's one freaking foot that ran away. Here it is. I managed to find it. As you've noticed, I am pretty shy about taking this entire thing apart. And my battery is going on my camera. I really need to get a second battery for this thing. I'm sorry, you artware repair experts. I'm not brave enough to kind of unscrew everything and sort out the mechanics of things. So the only thing that is mechanical on these boards are these switches here. You have two here, and you have one here, this thing. And there is just a piece of metal just going into the switches. If you record or something like that, it pulls the switch up and sets the whole thing for recording. I need to find my switch cleaning lubricant. I just hope that once I open it up, I can put it back together again. This is there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of little itty bitty stuff. Okay, so this stupid bar is not coming out, so I'm gonna have to take something else out to take this freaking bar out. Basically, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna slowly take everything apart because I'm trying to get one thing out or another, and in the end I would have just done it in the freaking first place. So why don't I just like do that? Even though it's like something's guiding me to freaking unscrewing this thing completely. Now I'm gonna have to unscrew these stupid top screws. Oh, I'm gonna vacuum this thing. It's not good for me to breathe all this dust. I'm actually borderline asthmatic. It's not bad. I mean, my asthma, I don't suffer from it anymore like I used to when I was little. Freaking screw. Okay, the battery died. So I just need to kind of, first things first, what I'm gonna do is clean this freaking thing out because it's completely dusty. And yes, even the lining of this thing. So what I will do now is I will get some isopropyl alcohol and a rag and just get the stubborn bits of dust which I've just like decided to kind of solidify, kind of set on there. They refuse to kind of come off. Finally freaking found the stupid servo freaking saw. Oh man, I've been searching for everywhere for this thing. It's got legs. I'm gonna find the thing he came with, so I'm gonna have to use this stupid straw. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not gonna be easy, but it's better than nothing. Got this for the screws for this thing. It's like full already. What I want to do is spray these switches and stuff because I have switches here. As you can see, the monitor switch here, it's very sticky. Right, so as you can see here, this one here is that monitor switch. Now, thankfully they have the holes here, so what I can do is just spray some Servicel. Right, that switch is sorted, thank goodness. It's another variable resistors here. Freaking stupid straw. Okay, that's fine, just need to turn that a few times. Right, so we have the top two here, the bottom two here, and I think that's all there is for variable resistors on this thing. See these variable resistors here? All these, this, 3 there, 3 there, and on the playback board, oh, there's only 4 on this side, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 there. Right, so what I will have to do here is replace these variable resistors, or trimmers, or potentiometers. What's the difference? I don't know, but I know these 3 names for them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the record board here, down here, there's 79. So there's 10 of these. So this is going to be a tedious yet fun time because, of course, I absolutely love desoldering components. Right, so what I'm going to have to actually do is to identify which variable resistor I'm actually desoldering. I'm trying to replace. Check which value it is so I can replace it with a new one, and then it's at a preset value. So once I've desoldered it, what I'll do is I will measure the resistance from center to this, center to left of it, center to right of it, and then, you know, set the new ones as that before I solder them back in. I mean, it's the only way I can think of right now is to, for keeping the values that are on there. So I'm gonna have to get a pen and kind of, you know, start writing down. So another thing that keeps freaking running away from me is pens. Number 1 is a stupid Servicel canister, and number 2 is stupid pens. Right, so the first variable resistor I am gonna desolder is gonna be this one here. This one here, it's hard to turn it around because So first time I'm using this soldering grid, soldering wick thing, so here goes. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, wow! This thing works very well. I always used to wonder, what's this stuff for? How is this supposed to, you know, desolder? But now I know. Beats using a solder sucker anytime. So long, sucker. Sorry, that was lame. So that variable resistor should just pop right out, and wow! There you go, as easy as that. I'm freaking impressed with this. Right, so what I have to do is measure the values of this. This I'm impressed with. Muchas gracias, amigo. Seriously. Between left and center is 3K. So what I'll do is I will get my diddly screwdriver and I will set this. The new 5K variable resistor. Just a little less. No more. Okay, so that is close enough and it's time to put that inside. I've decided to go with a Thermit capacitor. A Thermit variable resistor as opposed to a skeleton one, this was the one I took out. I don't know if this is pronounced Thermit or Kermit. Kermit to me sounds like a green freaking frog made of, you know, fuzzy felt. So I will say Thermit. It sounds nicer. Right, so that is I've put that in from the other side. Now just to solder it in. Okay, it's a very awkward position, but the soldering braid made it so much easier, and that is soldered in. And now this. Finally. And there we go. That is one done. Now as you can see, it's there, and it's done. I've got the new one inside there. And here you can see it sitting happily on the circuit board on the other side, and that is going to last many years to come, hopefully. Middle and the right, I was already on there. It's 5K. Let's put that up to so here you see the new variable resistors. I replaced them. Thankfully it did not take too long thanks to the good old solder wick. So let's get started on the capacitors. Okay, now these are going to be a bit tricky because there's quite a lot of them. This is a little annoying. These things are... The capacitors themselves are not marked or labeled, not on the board, nor in the service manual. They're listed here, but they're not marked. So it's gonna have to be, you know, thankfully that the capacitors themselves are clear to read. Right, so this one is 16 volt, 10 microfarad, and that's gonna be exactly the same. So with this thing, what I'm gonna have to do is check the polarity before I actually take the capacitor out, because there are no markings on the board itself like there were in the Marantz. So old one out and new one in. Okay, one capacitor done. Ooh. One capacitor done, and goodness knows how many freaking more to go. Okay, so right, so that's 2 capacitors replaced. I will be back when you lucky people will get to see them all replaced in just a second. So 1 day later, and all these capacitors are removed and replaced, along with these variable resistors. Alright, the sun's gone down now, and I'm relying on the lights, relying on the artificial light now, and I'm still at this thing. And I've done this top board, and I need to actually start on this board here, so that should not take long. I've done the majority of it.